On today's show, from the Hogan Family, Who's the Boss? The Charlie Brown and Snoopy Show, singer-songwriter Angela Lee Sloan.
Hello, Mike. How are you? Welcome to my home. Let's get this interview started.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mike Grand Show, and today's special guest was on the Hogan Family, Who's the Boss? And the Charlie Brown and Snoopy Show. It's singer-songwriter Angela Lee Sloan. Hey Angela.
Hello. How are you?
Good, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
So you're outside, it's a beautiful day where you are. It's a beautiful day
Yes.
where I am too.
Yes, it's really nice. It's a perfect day. It's supposed to get hotter though, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 83 over here today.
Yeah, and then by Friday it's gonna be like 98.
Yep.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. LA.
So you're in LA right now, and you've been in LA for a long time, right? Because you're an
Yes.
actress.
Yes.
Can you tell us how you got started in acting?
Yes. Well, I was born in England. My family are all English, and my mom and dad were going through a divorce, and my mom's sister and mom were living here. So we moved to America, and I was about 3.5 at the time. And about 5 years old, my mom loved garage sales. We were at a garage sale. They never had them in England. You had boot sales where you put things in your trunk and your boots. And so we'd stop at all these garage sales. My mom would give me $1. You have $1, you can pick whatever you want. So anyway, I was messing around with a quarter and a dime. And this woman was like, your daughter's adorable. She's really, this is my card. I'm an agent. Call me. I'd love to set her up for commercials and acting and whatnot. My mom was not too sure about it. She was a singer herself in England. And she talked to my aunt about it. My aunt's like, don't do anything about it. So she was at work one day and wrestling through her purse, found this card, and just decided, well, what have I got to lose? I'll give her a call. And it turned out it was Collie Vidal from Herb Tan and Associates. And they took me on, and I just started working. I started getting commercials and booking all different kinds of things. And I loved it. I was a little ham, so... Yeah, so that's how it all started.
Do you remember what your very first commercial was?
Yes, actually. It was a Polaroid commercial with Danny Kaye. And it was a really special commercial. Danny Kaye had never done commercials before, and it was like a 3-minute commercial, and they had 2-minute versions, and it was a really big deal. I played like his granddaughter, and it was really neat. It was really neat.
And then you went on and you got some guest appearances on some shows, right? So
yes, I did. I did The Incredible Hulk. Yeah. I did Love Boat, Hotel.
Yep.
All kinds of, different things before I did Who's the Boss for a few years.
Yep.
And then sorry.
That's okay. I was just gonna say, before we talk about Who's the Boss, can you tell us a little bit about what it was like working on just like the Love Boat?
Oh my gosh, that was so special. It was with Florence Henderson from, of course, the Bradys, and I was in awe of her. And we were supposed to be orphans, and we get adopted by it was the Country Western Jamboree. It was a 2-hour special. So I was ecstatic. I was a huge Brady Bunch fan, and so the fact that I got to work with her she was just so neat and so special. And I was a big fan of the Love Boat. So getting to meet Gopher and getting to meet the Doc, and it was just something I'll never forget. I think it was my 12th birthday. I celebrated on either my 11th or my 12th birthday. And I just remember the Doc, Bernie, he was just so sweet, and we would make faces at each other, and he was just lovable. It was just really good experience. Really nice experience.
And then afterwards, you got on Who's the Boss?
Yes, yes. I came on as just a one episode. I just did one episode as Julia, her dingy airhead friend, and and the next week my agent called and said they want you guys back, you girls back the following week. Oh, this is great. And then the phone calls kept coming, and we went on to do 3 years. I went on to do 3 years on the show.
And what was your favorite time filming on Who's the Boss? Do you have any favorite memories of that show?
Oh my gosh, so many. It was me, Nicole Eggert, and Tanya Crow and Shauna Lane Block, and we were all friends outside of acting, and Alyssa Milano, of course. And we had a lot of fun. We used to go to all the Alfie soda pop parties and all kinds of stuff. But I'm trying to think of a favorite moment. We were there for Christmas. Tony Danza was always such a generous, loving host. He'd get us all bouquets of flowers before every performance. And then it was Christmas, and we got this really cool watch. Just really, intimate, fun things.
Yeah. And then you became the voice of Lucy on the Charlie Brown Snoopy Show. Can you tell us about that? That's pretty cool.
It really was pretty cool. It started when I was 8 years old. I'd come into Collie Vidal's office where we'd do voiceover auditions, and I auditioned for Lucy, and then got the part. And came to set. I did various different specials as well as the cartoon series, and but it was really something neat getting to work with Charles Schultz and Bill Melendez, and they'd take us individually into the studio, and we'd each do our own parts, and it was really something special. Glen Sound, and we were there I was Lucy for about 3.5, 4 years, but it was the longest running Lucy, Charles Schultz had said. So it was really exciting time and something special, because I was from England. I really didn't know Charlie Brown at the time, and my mom didn't know, so we were oblivious. And of course, we've come to know and love all the cartoon series, but at the time we were so it was just something neat.
Were you looking to get into voiceover work, or was that something that just kind of happened at the moment?
Well, our agent would send us out on commercials, voiceover work, television roles, the gamut, whatever's out there. So you'd go into the agent's office to record your sessions, and it just became, part of one of the daily things, one of the interviews that you'd go on. And that one, they auditioned everybody, and so it was really special to get that. It wasn't sought after. It wasn't sought after doing voiceovers. It just naturally happened.
Now, did you find it any easier, or did you find it harder as opposed to appearing in front of a camera?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. I found it very easy, and they make it really really lovely. They made it really nice for us. We weren't we'd go to school, then we'd go in for like a half an hour, and they would say, okay, you got it. So I just loved it. I still do voiceover. I still do a lot of voiceover work.
And then finally, after all those years, you were on Who's the Boss, the Charlie Brown Snoopy Show. You got a recurring character role on the Hogan Family. So can you tell us how that got started?
Well, that was really interesting, because I believe I replaced someone in the middle of the week. So when I'd auditioned, I had no idea that the role was already in play. I had auditioned on a Tuesday, and then the next day I almost missed the call that I'd gotten a call back to come back to the producers, and I made it, and I got the call that I was working the next day, and we were taping the following day. And I was like, wow. And it was just a one episode. Again, it was just a one episode character, Brenda, this tough girl, Willie's girlfriend. And I thought, well, it was hilarious. Like the audience loved it. They really went crazy. And I was working with Josie Bissett as the other girlfriend of Jeremy Licht. And and Danny Ponce, of course, as Willie. And I remember afterwards, like, it was just so euphoric, and we had such a great time. I knew Danny since I was little. We'd done a Duncan Hines commercial when we were like 7 or 8, and I'd known him. We did a Richard Pryor's place, where so I'd known him forever. And I didn't know Jeremy, I thought. And when I walked on stage, Jeremy came over and he's like, Angela, he's like, you know, Lisa. Lisa was a friend of mine from a show I used to do at the Roxy when I was growing up. I sang and we performed at the Roxy for over 3 years. So he knew my friend Lisa, and it was just this small world. And it was really it was just an amazing experience. We had so much fun. So after this first episode, I remember Josie was like, Angela, they're going to bring you back. I know they're going to bring you back. And I said, I don't know. Look at my character. She's so rough. She's so like, she's going to kill this poor guy. And she's like, I just know it. And we got the call the following week. You're back the next week. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. I'm back. And then again, I worked that second week, and not even halfway into it, my agent got a call saying they want you next week. And the episode's going to be written around your character, and it's the final episode of the season. And it was the proms, lies, and videotapes. And it was just so interesting because here Danny and I, we weren't in school. I didn't go to my prom. He didn't go to his prom. And here we were getting to go to our prom. And I remember they were such a lovely group, everybody. And they came to me, and the writers said, what song do you want to dance to as the main dance? And I was like, I get to choose it? So they gave me 3 options, and I went with I Don't Know Much, Linda Ronstadt and Aaron Neville. Anyway, it was really neat. It was really special. And that's when we got the call from saying that they wanted you back next season as a series regular. And I was just over the moon.
Yep. So it all started as a little one-time gig and then turned into a full-time position. So yeah. You had some interesting episodes in there that were fun. You also worked at a fast food joint as well.
Awesome.
So what I want to know too is, have you, besides acting, did you ever have any other part-time jobs that you could relate to when you were in your character with the fast food place?
Oh, yes. I worked at pizza parlors where I was like at a small little pizza shop owned by a brother and sister. And I'd come in just to do van driving. And then I ended up doing the dishes like every day, like this huge big sink of dishes. And I was like, this is not what I signed up for. So yeah, I could relate to that.
Yep, you're like, oh, I got out of working at a fast food place, and here I am back at a fast food place.
Yeah, exactly. All this way up, and boom.
So what are your fun memories of working with Danny Ponce, Jeremy Licht on the show?
Oh my gosh, we were all really good friends outside of it. So we'd hang out in each other's trailers, watch Oprah, just talking about all our friends, what we were doing this weekend, where we were going. And it was really a magical time. And the last season, Danny and I were both in school. Jeremy had just graduated, so he didn't have to do schooling, and he would laugh. Him and Jason would be like, ha ha, you guys have to go to school. And we're like, yeah, ha ha, at 10 o'clock we get to leave. So there were pros and cons. But it really was like, it was so much fun. That was probably my favorite working experience ever.
And then the show was on NBC. You came at the end of season 5.
Yeah.
And then they moved it to CBS.
Yes.
How was that transition like for you? And when you found out the show was moving to a different network, what was everybody's reaction towards that?
Well, hopeful that it would get promoted or it would get that extra oomph, but it seemed, we were going from a weekday night to a Saturday night, and so there were some hangups there. But we were hopeful. We had Jonathan Hillerman had joined the cast, and he was so amazing. Him and his stories were just amazing. So I had hope that, of course, and I just finally got an official role. I showed up on the 6th season, and I had my chair, my name, like inscribed, like before it was just a sticker with your name on it. And still, that's great. But I had my own chair. I was just so excited. I'm like, this is it. So yeah, it was very disappointing, especially to come on and have that such a high, and then
Yeah, it made no sense to me towards the end how they just shoved it on Saturday night and then just kind of let it go away. I mean, it was a ratings winner for NBC. It actually, was higher than the lead-in at times.
Yeah,
It was kind of crazy that, they just kind of tossed it away and then burned off the last couple episodes in the summertime. But
yeah, it was very disappointing. But we had such an amazing time on the show.
I mean, it was a great show. It still stands the test of time if you go back and you watch those episodes. And one of the funny moments you did have in there too was with Danny and Jeremy and Josie Bissett. You had an outdoor scene in a car.
Yes.
Remember what episode I'm talking about? If you could tell us a little bit about that one.
Yes, that was hilarious. They had a used car. We were going on a date, a double date, and we get out there, and Danny's got plans to keep the top down and be all smooth and try to, I think that was the first episode I did, actually, was used car. And he's trying to, get frisky with me, and I'm not having it, and he's just miserable. And then it starts to rain, and we go to turn up the roof, and it won't go up. So that was hilarious to do on a soundstage, with it raining, and we're stuck in this car, and it was just really great. It was a really funny episode, and very technically with the rain falling on you. It was a blast. It was a blast.
And like we mentioned too, you were Willie's girlfriend, and Mark had a girlfriend who was Josie Bissett, who later went on to Melrose Place and a bunch of other things. Do you have any favorite memories or moments with Josie?
Oh, I loved her so much. She was such a sweet girl. We, we would hang out and chat, and she was a couple years older than me, and she was just really a sweet, kind person. Yeah, we all had a really good time.
Yeah, and then also you were there with Sandy Duncan, Josh Taylor, Jason Bateman. So did you have much interaction with those guys, even though you didn't have many scenes? Most of the scenes were with the twins, but did you talk to them as
Yes,
much?
I would, but not as much as because we were, there's age gaps, but they were all lovely. But we would, as kids, we were just all hanging out together. But they were wonderful. I remember driving to work one day, and I was a new driver, and I'm on the freeway, and I'm going to work to Hogan Family, and I see get on Sunset Boulevard onto the 405, Sandy Duncan. And I'm like, hey! And she's like, hi! So I thought that was funny. Like, when do you ever see someone on the freeway that you know? And yet I see Sandy on the way to work to go see her.
And then towards the end of the series, when the series did get canceled, how was that like for you? What did you then, did you think, oh my God, what's going to be my next gig? How did you go on from there?
Well, you just, like anything, it was definitely a gift getting to work on the show, and it was a gift that kept on giving, to be honest. So I felt lucky to have had such an experience, but of course you're always nervous about the next, what's coming up next, and where's it going to take you. And I remember the wrap party was just amazing. Every wrap party, they had started off with all the bloopers throughout the year, and I remember this one was really special because it was the end of the season, and everybody was just shocked, to be honest, that the show had been canceled. And I remember that the song was Shower the People by James Taylor, and I remember just like being so overwhelmed. And Danny, I felt more heartache for Danny and Jeremy because they'd been doing the show for 6 years now. So I felt more heartache for them because I felt it. I'd been there a year now and just loved these people. Everyone on the set was like friends. It was a wonderful crew and a wonderful group of people, really, sincerely. So it was really touching to have this, this. I'll never forget that rap video, or the blooper reel, as they call it. But it was really nice. It was in Marina del Rey, and it was such a fancy event, but we were all just emotionally like, oh my goodness.
And then after that rap party, and you started going on looking for other gigs, what are some of the things that you did after the Hogan Family?
I did, right after Hogan Family, I did a soap opera just for a couple of days, One Life to Live. And then I had to figure out something to do work-wise. And I ended up going into radio. And I spent a lot of my time as an executive at K-Rock, and then I went to Star 98.7 and worked with clients and promotions, and I kind of just got involved in work. And of course, I was still acting because I do commercials for my clients on the radio stations, and then the radio stations would go, "Oh, Angela, come do a spot for us. Come do a spot for us." So I ended up wearing a lot of hats, but I loved being in radio. I was in radio for 17 years. And then when I got pregnant with my daughter, I decided it was time to leave and take a break and be a mom. And when that happened, that's when I started looking back into acting. And so I've been, auditioning, doing what I can. I've gotten a couple of roles. I did an episode of Shameless. I did an episode of Animal Kingdom. I did a video game. I've done some commercials. And so it's really kind of like starting over again. But I love it. I also started writing and singing my music that I've been doing forever, which is one of my big loves. And I did an EP and put an EP out of my music and just kind of reinventing myself, really. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. So you write your own songs, correct?
Yes.
And
yes.
Tell us what is the writing process for you like? What kind of inspiration do you get?
I'm always a melody. I love music, all kinds of music. And my mom's a singer. My dad's a singer. Everyone plays in our family. If you didn't play or sing, it was just what? So I've always I find a melody. I find a melody that I like and I'd hum it and I'd go, oh, I love that. And then I teach myself to find the chord because I'm not a trained guitarist. I trained in piano, but I wanted to pick up the guitar when I started writing. When I was probably like 23, I started really hunkering down on guitar. Once I could play a couple chords, then I wrote my first song. And it's really always like a song or a melody I have, a lyric, and then I'll work it backwards. I'll figure out the chords that I'm playing and go from there.
And what kind of music do you make? How would you describe your sound?
It's kind of like it's a pop. It's like a Pink, a Katy Perry, Sheryl Crow, singer-songwriter vibe. I like classic rock, but I also like pop music, indie. It's all that in a bag of chips.
And your music's been featured in a couple shows, correct?
Yes, it has. Intelligence on CBS. I had another placement on, I'm blanking on the names right now, but yeah, I've had a couple of placements on shows, so it made it official. I'm officially, a working musician.
You had one on Cinemax, Outcast? Correct?
Yes, thank you. Yes. Yes.
And how did these come about? Did they seek you out, or did you try to seek them out? How did they get put into the shows?
Well, I had been playing out, and I had made contact with a publishing company who submit your songs for placement. And I gave them 3 songs to rep for me. And it's literally just like you get an email saying your song has been chosen at Intelligence Channel. So it was really exciting. Really exciting.
And are you working on any new music now?
I am. I've kind of taken a break during this whole crazy world we live in because my daughter's at home. We're doing school at home. But I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get going. I just was vaccinated last week. And I'm like, okay, it's time to move forward. So, yeah, I really want to, I've been writing since I've been home. And I've got a couple of songs that I want to do, as well as Out of the Blue. I want to record that. So that's the next step.
And speaking of Out of the Blue, we have a little surprise for the viewers at home that you're actually going to come back here in a little bit and sing Out of the Blue for us.
Yes, I am.
But before we do that, I want to play with you the lightning round.
All right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a couple things, and you just tell me which one you prefer.
Okay.
So do you prefer the ocean or a lake?
Ocean. I don't like lakes.
Doritos or Fritos?
Doritos.
Would you rather call someone or text someone?
Call someone.
Indoors or outdoors? I think I know the answer to this.
Outdoors. Outdoors. I live out here. We have a TV behind you and a lanai. We live outside.
Bacon or eggs?
Oh, bacon.
The Home Alone movies or the Problem Child movies?
The Problem Child movies, because you know the Problem Child is Danny's brother, right?
Is it really?
Ponzi's brother, yeah.
Which one? Because there were
the redhead.
The original one?
I think maybe the.
Because I think there were 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, there were 2, and I think he was the second one.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up then.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. See, we learn all the time on this show.
I'm telling you.
We're very educational, this show.
Yes, we are.
Slot machines or roulette?
Slot machines.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night owl.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs. But I love cats too, but dogs.
Would you rather receive a gift or would you rather just get the cash?
Oh, a gift. Gift.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Dawson's Creek?
Buffy.
And are you a little bit country or a little bit rock and roll?
I'm a little bit of both, but I'm more rock and roll.
Okay. Thanks for playing the lightning round.
Woo!
So Angela, you're going to come back with us in a second, and we're going to have you perform your new song, Out of the Blue.
All right.
Everybody, here is Angela right now singing Out of the Blue.
I sailed out into the sea that day. My mind was so far away. I'd been thinking of you. You took me by surprise. I'd never seen that look in your eyes. Then you whispered into my ear the words most girls want to hear, but it left me here. Say that your love was true, right out of the blue, out of the blue. out my mind. I never thought we'd be married kind. All dusted up in a fancy white dress. All eyes on me walking down the aisle. For the thought made me smile. You say that your love was true. Right out of the blue, out of the blue. You've always been my best friend. And I was scared and didn't want this to end. I had to take time away from you to see that true love had always been right in front of me. Well, that's when I knew I was made for you. And that's what I do, and I'm free, something Robert and blue. Out of the blue, heart and soul, I give you my heart and soul. Now bring something on, something new, something about you. And a silver sixpence in my left shoe. I do. I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Great job.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike. Thank you for having me, or for me being here in my backyard, or
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us here today. And why don't you tell all the viewers at home, where they can see your music and how they can contact you?
Yes, Facebook. Facebook, I have my own music page called Angela Lee Sloan Music. So please come and follow me there. And thank you so much for having me, Mike.
You're welcome. And thank you guys for watching today. And we'll talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.